Come out to the bar.
Hello YouTube, cheers and welcome to The Basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
And The Basement of Debates is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we talk about the most intriguing topics of hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, Basement family. And the question came across my feed the other day, and I thought we needed to debate this on the show. Who has done more for hip-hop, Jay-Z or Dr. Dre? Great question. Let's see what we got here. Listen, don't forget to support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/TeamBoxCutter. CUTTA. Free music, access to patron-only shows, live call-ins, and much, much more. Go support. Go support so we can continue to do this show every day, actually. We need your help. We need your support. Keep hip-hop alive. Today's question: who has done more for hip-hop? Hip-hop, that is. Jay-Z or Dr. Dre? Let go.
Well, I would use notes, but I never really take those anyway.
Yeah, I hear you.
Nah,
for the first time in a while, I don't have any either. It's gonna be a quick, easy W for your boy.
Was a dope question actually when presented, and if not for any other reason, because it's not often that you hear Dre and Jay-Z in the same sentence, although those are two of the biggest icons, I would put it, that hip-hop has ever seen. And for two totally different reasons, which is why it makes the question dope. One, obviously being for Dre's, renowned producing skills and his body of work as it comes to producing. And Jay-Z, obviously, who arguably, and I don't know why it's still an argument after all these years, but arguably is the greatest rapper of all time. And maybe, in the race with Diddy and Dre, the greatest entrepreneur, or whatever you call what they're doing, what it is that they're doing right now, as far as controlling their businesses and brands, and that spun out of hip hop of all time. And so, yeah, that's what makes this question so dope, and that there's a question that actually includes both of them. And you say, well, who's put in, or who's had a more of a impact? Is that fair?
Come on to the
bar. Yeah, question. Yeah, who's done more for hip hop? Who's done more for hip hop?
For my money, it's gonna have to be Jay.
I'll take the W.
There's so many things that implies when you say that. When you say done for hip hop. And I could think on so many levels the influence that Jay has had over the years. And now you're talking about a career that spanned for 3 decades now. For sure. The 90s, 2000s, and now we're going on 2020 or 2019. But you're talking about a career that spans for 3 decades. So with Jay, for me, you can start on the MC, where he started his career, on the MC end of it, where just on that end of it, you can argue that his contribution is greater than anybody else's in hip hop. If for those who studied or didn't study Jay-Z throughout his career, he went through evolution as far as what he's rapping, how he's rapping it, meaning his delivery. When Twista and those guys out the Midwest was spitting rapid fire and what he calls and refers to as the 2-3 style, he was a part of that. Not only a part of it, a pioneer in laying that style down. Yeah, go check it. Original Flavors was a group that he started out with. Go check Jay back then, 92, 91. When he was with Jazzo or whatever, like Jay-Z used to rap like that. Those of you who know. And he was good at that. He can still, and if you listen to his albums later on, he still incorporated that style in verses and songs that he did. Is that your chick? Niggas hating on Jay because they Jay babe. Y'all remember those songs. Roc-a-fella, y'all, all of that. Jay, again, we could argue just on his MC prowess that his contribution to hip hop is the greatest of all time. I'ma let Bruce, dig in with why he feels Dr. Dre has put in or had the most contribution to hip hop, but obviously there's different sections and parts to Jay's career. There's the fact that when he started Roc-a-fella, he wasn't only the MC and the top artist on his label, but he was the boss and CEO of his label, which was unparalleled at the time that he did it. So when you talk about putting the hip hop, like that's, again, you know what I'm saying? That's stuff that hadn't been done before Jay, and I'm not sure it done to that magnitude or done to those heights after Jay. So yeah, I'll let Bruce dig in with why he feels Dre is put in the most, but that's just one section of Jay's career. As we all know, like I said, it spans for 3 decades. The styles, the deliveries, rapping, and with hip hop evolving as it did, Jay was always at the forefront of it. When you look back, like Jay was always at the cutting edge of it. He was always the cream of the crop of it. So yeah, just from an MC standpoint, there's that. You know what I'm saying? Like you like I said, you'd be hard pressed to argue with somebody or who was a better rapper over all these years than Jay-Z. So from that end of it, from an MC end of it, nobody's put in more than Jay. Nobody's contributed more to this game than Jay-Z. See what Bruce talking about.
I'm straight out of Compton. Come on, man. Listen, nobody will ever say on this show while I'm here that Jay-Z isn't a great rapper, isn't a great MC. Fine. You want to say he's the best? Okay, there's an argument to be made for that. Did more for hip-hop because he rapped with Jazzo? I don't know. I think that's if that's where we're starting, you haven't gone to the things that he's, the other stuff. But I think what you're saying is because he's a good rapper and because he did so many different styles of rap and you kind of stopped it at a certain place. So my guess is you're waiting to see what I come with. So you come with more afterwards. So I'm just going to say
MCing, the influence that he's had with MCing is immeasurable, is what I was saying. Okay,
well, the influence that he's had with the influence that Dr. Dre's had with beat making is immeasurable. Immeasurable. It starts out with n.w.a. And
I'm gonna take my word.
So I'm just saying, like, I feel you.
Stop it, Bruce.
But the one other thing that's a problem, the real big problem is you're talking about someone who's influenced it since 89. 1989.
Same time, right?
When was he with Jazzo?
Hawaiian Sophie's about 89.
89?
Doing shows with Daddy Kane in about 89.
Oh, you mean opening up for other artists?
No,
I'm talking about
Daddy Kane.
I'm talking about the major artists.
You mean for Big Daddy Kane?
The major artists.
For Big
as in n.w.a. that he's a part of.
For Big Daddy Kane? You right. That's
yeah, 89.
That's about 89.
Big Daddy Kane.
It's about 80.
Not Jay-Z. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So anyway, let's continue on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real, people. It's a close one. That's why this is a good debate. Let's be honest, it's a close one. But if I can just name you a couple names here, such as the co-owner of Death Row Records, Tupac, DOC, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Exhibit, Nocturnal, 50 Cent, The Game, and Kendrick Lamar. The inventor of the West Coast G-Funk.
It's Warren G.
Dr. Dre's cousin.
Yeah, well,
who taught him how to make it.
Well, that's nice.
Warren G said it was Dr. Dre who taught him how to make those beats.
That's nice.
So he's the inventor of the West Coast G-Funk. Warren G gives him that credit. This is what it is. Everybody that he's touched has been... Jay-Z himself is in the top 10. But when you say who's done more for hip-hop, Jay-Z has done a lot as a rapper for himself in hip-hop. More for hip-hop is the guy who has on his repertoire 5 of your top 10. The other 5. People say Eminem is in their top 10? Not a problem. I wouldn't disagree with that. Some people like Snoop Dogg say one of the greatest rappers of all time? Sure. You think Tupac is one of the greatest rappers of all time? Well, who had their hand in it? Who was the co-founder of Death Row Records? I don't know how else to say that. Death Row Records. The ones that started the movement in the West Coast that still exists to today through Kendrick Lamar. Ask Kendrick. Who put him on? Dr. Dre. Who's the best rapper out right now? It's between 2-3 people. Some say Drake, some say Cole, some say Kendrick. He's always in that conversation. Dre's hands are always in that conversation, and I don't need 7 minutes to explain it. This is the facts. So, there's a lot more to go through, but if we're just talking about the styles of rap, there's one thing. But how many people has this guy touched that are the greatest? Not just the quantity, oh, he has this one and that one. There's a lot of people that'll come through and fall off tomorrow. There's very few Tupacs ever. There's very few Snoop Dogg's ever. There's very few Eminems ever. There's very few n.w.a.s ever. There's very few 50 Cents ever. And there's very few The Games ever. Like these are some of the best people on everybody's top 10 groups or single, dead or alive. This man did it. Not only did he just touch them and put them out, he made that music. He's pressed the keys. He made the bass drum. He made the snare drum. He made the sound of the music that you enjoy. He didn't just find the guy and bring him over to a producer. He was the producer. His handprint on hip hop is so large, you can't get from the thumb to the pinky. Period. His handprint on hip hop is so large, you can't get from the thumb to the pinky. Because every single time you're talking about something, whether it's the music, whether it's the rap style, whether it's the MCing, whether it's the DJing, whether it's the ownership, whether it's the mogulship, which I'll get to in my next soliloquy, he's been there. He's been there longer, doing more, with better groups. If you opened up for a really great person in '89, more power to you. If you were that really great person in '89, need I say more?
Again, so we spoke about the beginning of Jay-Z's career and the fact that as an MC, his contribution is off the charts and probably the greatest of all time. Let's go into the mogul NW. And this is where I think Jay-Z separates himself, and there's a distinction between the path that Jay-Z's career took and the path that Dr. Dre's career took. Now, granted, Dr. Dre has proven to be one of the great businessmen and tycoons and, entrepreneurs to do it. And he did it his own way. It all revolved around the music. With Jay-Z, let me tell you why he's done more for hip-hop, y'all. In a time when...
Explain it.
You see, let me remind everybody that hip hop is not only just the music, but it's a culture.
Oh.
It's the clothes that we wear. It's the talk that we talk. It's the drinks that we drink. Now, yeah, because these guys know where I'm going with this. You see, the thing about hip hop is that, you know,
they can start getting esoteric. You can't get the music.
The thing about hip hop.
Start getting esoteric with the answers.
At a time in the early 90s when, you know, you had guys wearing Carl Kanai and what was out back then, your cross colors and, you know what I'm saying, 8 Ball and all of that. Tommy Hilfiger and all of that.
We don't need any comments from the peanut gallery.
Along came a guy, Jay-Z, who hustled in Brooklyn and realized the power that hip-hop has on the world. And so with that, when you want to talk about who's done the most for hip-hop.
Are you talking about Wu-Wear?
When you talk about who's done them, well, let's see if Wu-Wear.
Are you talking about Fat Farm?
Wu-Wear ever net worth with roc-a-fella network. You can check the numbers on that. I guarantee you that.
I'm just saying, like,
you can check.
Not the first rapper to have a clothing line.
The numbers.
I feel.
But who done it the biggest and the best was roc-a-fella. And so
Fat Farm was pretty big.
Again, it didn't net worth the numbers that roc-a-fella did. And also had a mini company with state property right up under that was doing numbers with clothes. So, I mean, like I said, it goes on and on with Jay-Z and what he's done for hip-hop.
No, I hear you.
Again, Brandon learning how to brand and market his brand to the world did a lot for hip-hop, because now you're blueprinting. Now you're laying out a blueprint for other young entrepreneurs that may have come from the projects or less and absurd backgrounds or adversities and had to overcome and know that it's possible to become a billionaire.
In the spirit of debate, I will say I have to concede that roc-a-fella was dope. In the spirit of debate, I will concede that hip-hop is a culture in and of itself, not just the music, of which music is a part, right? KRS-One will tell you that.
Reebok gave him a deal for S. Carter.
You're right. But also, in the spirit of the debate that we're having, as far as who's done more for hip-hop and its culture...
Right, I wasn't done.
Continue, sir.
With the artist, as he mentioned, that has been bought out by the likes of Dr. Dre, let's not forget with Jay, because it's easy to forget with Jay-Z because he is the best rapper. So you say, well, he bought this one out and there's not another Tupac. Well, there's not another Jay-Z. But even being the best rapper, how about some of the best producers and rappers? I mean, honestly, Kanye West. Let's look at that. And I know wait a minute. Hold on, about his antics and him being crazy, but truth be told, this guy is one of the best producers of all time and one of the best producers you heard that's able to MC at the same time.
Kanye's done more to hurt hip-hop than anybody that I know.
Nah, he had good music.
Yeah, but that's not, it's about the culture. We also said there's a culture. If you have good music but are destroying your own people, you're doing more to hurt hip-hop than help it at this point. I'd rather not hear your music, period. If you're peeing on little girls, we don't need to listen to it. That's all there is to it. Listen, man, I'm not letting you go in and tell me about Kanye has done what he's done for hip-hop because he makes beats.
Is he not one of the best producers?
He was.
Is he not? Because Dr. Dre used to smack around me Chalet. But is he still not one of the best producers?
Yeah, but that's
bottom line. So I don't want to hear no more about. No. Don't get on your moral soapbox with me. No. Don't get on.
It's about the people and the culture.
Soapbox with me.
It's about the people and the culture.
Don't get on your moral soapbox.
It's about the people and the culture. It's about the people and the culture.
Because Dr. Dre has skeletons in his closet.
Yeah, but it's not a skeleton. It's a skeleton for him and someone else.
Don't get on your moral soapbox with me.
Not for the people.
Either he was a good producer or he was not.
No, what I'm telling you is, if I can finish, what I'm telling you is, so I'm going to answer your question. What I'm going to answer your question. If you've made a mistake and hit somebody, if you made a mistake and did drugs, even if you did something wrong, even if you sinned and killed somebody and go to jail for it, it's different than actually going to the White House, speaking for all black people and destroying everything that we built for the past 40, 50 years. So anyway, so I'm not going, that's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. That's not, that's not even what this is about.
Facts.
I'm going to say this. If we're talking about the culture, there's the only person that has made headphones as much of a part of your style as your shirt and your shoes and your Jordans is a dude named Dr. Dre with Beats Electronics, of which he's the owner. Now that's not only style, but he's literally controlling the music from the making of it to your listening to it, what you're listening to, and what you're listening on. And he actually made it a part of your headdress. People wear it around their neck. It's been a style for the past 10 years. If you don't have Beats by Dre, it's just like wearing fake Nikes. What kind of headphones are those? Oh, they're not Beats? I don't want to see it.
Same thing Rocker with.
So that's why I said that. The difference is, this is actually about the music and the culture at the same time. That's how he incorporated it. That this is what he's done for hip-hop. Even when he goes outside of the music, it's still inside the music. And it's cultural. He's a part of the culture. He's been ingrained in the culture. He's been ingrained in the culture since they first came out with the snare drum that everybody uses right now.
Ingrained is when you open up for Big Daddy Kane.
No.
That's ingrained.
That's opening up for Big Daddy Kane.
That's ingrained in the culture.
That's exactly what that is. Ingrained in the culture. Ingrained in the culture.
What we talking
Ingrained
about?
in the culture is when there's a special snare that every producer uses to make every beat, and it's a Dr. Dre snare. That there's a special bass drum. There's a special horn sample that you can get that has every single producer right now that's watching this show, and you are a producer.
As an MC, when
every
you
single
freestyles with Big L and you share stage with Big Daddy Kane, you're ingrained in the culture.
I'll tell you what. You spoke for 9 minutes the first time. You spoke for 15 minutes the second time. I'm just trying to get mine in. So
you can speak currently about Rock Nation.
You can speak currently about Beats.
Who have the likes of the artists of T.I.'s. Who have the these are all business guys, by the way. By the way, Jay-Z is the one who stamped J. Cole's career and has been on the Rock Nation since day one.
Kendrick Lamar.
So again, there you have it. Right at the cream of the crop as usual. There you see Jay-Z.
There you see Dr. Dre.
Bottom line.
So now we're trying to find the difference. Is what I'm trying to tell you. The difference is the guy who puts the music in your ear and taps the button to give you the sound that you like is also him.
The guy who said it the best has the best artist now and still does the fashion and everything. Go get you a rock hat.
What do you say?
Well, it could be a tie. It could be, but Jay-Z did a lot. The only thing I can say about Dr. Dre, he's the buffest. Other than that, no.
Nobody's stronger than Dre.
Facts, but whose wife looks better?
Nobody want to hear that, man. I already know you're going with some foolishness.
Who's had more greater albums?
Ooh, well. Wow. Are his albums including Snoop's and
who has had more
and n.w.a?
More greater
albums?
Dr. Dre or Jay-Z? I'm not talking about roc-a-fella compilations and Kanye albums. We're not talking about
I'm talking about
Jay-Z.
Where he is the executive producer.
We're talking about a Dr. Dre album.
You're not giving him his props. He is the executive producer of Doggy Style.
CEO of Roc-a-fella.
No, but he didn't do that with the music.
No.
He didn't make the music.
He okayed the song to go
So
on
now
the
being
album.
okaying the music is same as making the music?
What do you want?
You asked me a question. The person who made the music, that's his album as well. That's his album.
That's not his album.
He made the
Because
music.
if you made a beat on Swiss's album, that's not your
He
album.
didn't make a beat on it. He executive produced the
That's not
entire
your
album.
That's not your
He
album.
executive produced the entire Doggy Style,
That's not
the
your
entire Chronic, the entire N.w.a. joint, the entire Get Rich or Die Trying, the entire Kendrick Lamar joint,
Lady
the
of
first
Rage
one.
and Dog Pound too, but those
And
was
the second
trash.
one.
But those was trash. Listen, we're not talking about all the beats. Right, we're not talking about the beats.
Beanie Siegel is
Who
trash.
made better albums? Who made better albums?
You want to bring up the trash? You want to bring up the trash? Listen, man, we go back and forth all day.
Ask me about the hook. Who would you rather bump? Just kicking it, Dr. Dre or Jay-Z joints? Overall, coast to coast, south, north, whatever, Alaska, whatever. Most niggas be like, yo, I'm gonna bump that Jay. I might bump that, Dr. Dre up some old gangbang and shit, but that Jay-Z almost so smooth, like let's go get it, my man.
Okay,
That's how it is.
if that's the litmus test, I still say you're wrong because Jay-Z and Dr. Dre is two different things because Dr. Dre has his hands on 10 different albums that you would enjoy. That you would enjoy. If you wouldn't go, you don't bump Get Rich or Die
And Jay
Trying?
can rap the best on any one of them.
Listen,
And that's just the whole
all right,
thing about
you guys let us know. You guys
It
let us know.
doesn't matter.
The very first billionaire, he got him on the mogul side too. So
We can't talk about his skill level as a producer. Then we talk about Jay's skill level as an MC. But overall, like I said, you said put
He's
in the
had
most.
his hands on-
Put in the most. Jay's put out
done more for hip
great
hop.
albums than Dr. Dre.
No, no, Dr. Dre has
produced on.
But he's done more for hip hop. He's produced the greatest albums of hip hop history, and you don't want to give him credit
He
for
worked
that?
with some of the greatest.
So
people.
then, if I say then the Kanye,
They're great because of him.
the albums that Kanye put in more than. So if you look at all the albums Jay put out, and
Kanye hasn't put that many great albums
and
out.
all the albums Kanye produced on.
Kanye hasn't produced that many great albums.
Some nice albums.
He got 5 in the tank. We're talking about somebody who's got 25 since 89.
2 Chainz, and you got Common. Who else? Nah.
Kanye's got 4 maybe greats.
Nah.
So
don't do that.
why you keep bringing up Kanye? Why you like Kanye so much?
Because that's right. That's like Belichick to Parcells. Like, that comes from his tree.
Kanye does not have a Snoop Dogg. Kanye does not have an N.w.a. that started
sure
hip
about
hop. That he started hip hop, but when hip hop was just a baby. Kanye does not have the lineage. Kanye does not have 50 Cent or Get Rich or Die Trying under his executive production. Kanye does not have an Eminem.
Kanye is the 50 Cent.
Get
and
outta here.
Jay-Z was the best. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Wow. People, who wins? Who loses? We got some shout outs, man. Make sure you leave the comments. Tell us who wins this debate. Because when you leave those comments, we do shout you out, and here's the proof.
More for hip hop.
Who's done more for hip hop, man? Outer Space Beats. Hey, nice show, bro. Well, I appreciate that, Outer Space Beats. Jacob King said, nice video. Appreciate that. My Tribe TV All Out Attack said, Coore
Turned into the biggest troll. That may be a
Facts.
good
Facts.
producer, though.
Yeah. Dejan Martinez. Kanye needs more therapy for the death of his mom because, man, he clearly hasn't recovered for real. I don't like cooning either, but damn, I know his mama would never, ever allow him to be doing this stupid crap. It's embarrassing. Also, I'm pretty sure Kanye getting paid for the ass kissing cause Donald a snake. He would do anything for black votes at this point. Russell Keys said the same thing too. He's probably getting paid.
As for Jim Brown, I'm more than just disappointed. That's a fact.
Fact.
That's a big fact.
Fact.
Jim used to wear these type of stuff, you know, when you seen him. And they say, Jim said, yo, I'm just here to serve.
I have nothing to say.
And,
I'm just here to serve.
Kaepernick doesn't need to take a knee. It's
Cosby didn't do it.
wow, man.
Victoria Apayaje. Kanye, old ass play word. I can't read it. But it's ugly and it's bad. That's what I get out of it. Trump president reached so bad and sad. Okay. Appreciate that, Victoria Apayaje. I always think we have a certain language barrier, but I do understand what you're saying. It's horrible. Horrible. Garn Kargzik Stawal, man, I'm sorry. I have no idea how to say that. No disrespect. He said fire. Marty Boombox, keep it up. Tadner BTC said, hey yo, respect. And James Brown says, read that one for me, family.
Tragedy killed Nas on Thugs, Calm Down. I remember that song right there. I don't know about that either. I don't blame you. It's probably some issue smoking. Nah, I don't know if I agree with that. I remember Nas's verse.
Well, he said the reason why you feel that way is probably because of what you're smoking, man.
You know, we used to pump on the grave ships. Don't get me started. I remember Nas' verse on that.
Listen, yo, thank you guys for watching. This is an extra long one because for the past few weeks, we've only been doing one a week. So we're trying to get back on, but we need you guys to support us on Patreon, or else we got to do other things to support ourselves. If you want to see more, go support us on Patreon. This week, we're coming back hard. We're doing a review. We're going to be doing a review of Dave East and Styles P's new album, Beloved. Ooh. We got T.I.'s album up in the running to see if we want to give that a review. I've been listening to it. It's okay so far. I thought it was going to be a little better, but we'll see.
Checked it out. I checked it out. We'll get into it.
We'll get into it. It's a lot going on. There's been a recoil with what's been going on in politics. We try not to get too far into it, but you guys saw what we did last week. Listen, we can't do this stuff without you. It's all because of you. Thank you so much. You guys have been watching since day one.
It's the basement. We off this.
Peace.